The following critique is intended to provide the members of the St. Catharines Camera Club with information to help improve their photography skills. The critics are members of the club. The subject in this photograph is decoration lights set in front of the lip of a waterfall. The subject is overwhelmed by the huge area of darkness surrounding it, so the photograph is flat and the subject is lost in the frame. There is much information in the dark areas, revealing some of the detail and development. Gently will breathe more life into the image and enliven the subject of the photograph. Good color and sharpness, subject matter, and balance in image could be stronger. It's a good idea. Try same scene as a horizontal using rule of thirds to help with composition of image. In competition, this will probably not score very well. This is an interesting image that elicits responses of nostalgia, of neglected and aging farm, and of approaching storm. Exposure is fairly even throughout, including the dramatic sky. The blurred and hazier trees and the distance give the image good depth perspective. The taker could add a little more life to the image by adding some contrast, increasing saturation to selected areas such as the barn and the foreground grasses. The image might be enhanced also by darkening the foreground somewhat. Nice burst blur effect. The black streaks help bring the eye into the center of the image, which is nice and sharp. Additionally, the chromatic feel to the image keeps it from being too busy. This makes for a really interesting altered reality image. Great memory image of a popular attraction. The underexposure and low contrast lighting in this image does not do justice. A little post-processing could probably enhance this picture somewhat. Here is the same image with the adjustment to the exposure using the histogram. Here we've taken the same image and increased the saturation. Here we've taken the image and cropped a small portion off the bottom. This area did not have a lot of detail, so it was somewhat distracting. We also stretched the image to give it somewhat of a panoramic type of a view. Before and after. The before picture, if the photographer is happy with this, that is okay. With the modifications, if the photographer is okay, that is okay too. I think this is a strong demonstration of how just some minor adjustments can add a different wow factor to an image. The sepia treatment highlights the oldness of the subject, such as the grass and plants growing between the planks of the dock and an old-fashioned rowboat tied to the dock. So the idea of the image works. However, image development is incomplete. The image is flat with uniform tones, shades of gray, throughout. Depth can be built into the image by selectively darkening and highlighting dark and light patches along the banks in such a way that the viewer can see themselves standing at the near field looking at the boat. Beautiful red tree in the fall. A couple ideas to make it even better would be to crop the pavement out of the bottom of the image as well as some of the right side. You won't get all the pavement out, but it won't be as distracting as the pavement is quite light and pulls your eye away from the tree. Possibly a little less saturation in the grass would be beneficial as well. The taker has given us an unusual but interesting perspective on the car. The car itself is sharply in focus. The textured canvas effect filter is suitable to the age of the subject. The taker of this image might consider removing distracting features. Consider, for example, the blue streak on the bottom left, the bright spot at the top of the car. The vertical structures to the right of the image provide context for the image, but could be made less distracting by dodging slightly. The many white spots scattered along the bumper, but also on the parts of the body of the car, are somewhat inexplicable to this critiquer and take away from the image. The photographer might consider removing them. Nice simple image with strong appropriate lighting. The main subject, the autumn leaves, have become the secondary image because of the strong lead-in line that takes you to the tree trunk. The tree trunk in itself lacks any interest in color or design. When using lead-in lines, use them to take you to the main subject. Also, another little tip, generally speaking, with using leading lines that come out of the corner usually do not give a pleasing effect. It's better to come from the side or the bottom top of the picture. The image is showing the beautiful color variations in the twilight sky and its reflection in the water. However, the center cross section from left to right, the bridge and buildings, is too dark and renders the photograph flat and uninteresting. Further development of these dark areas to reveal detail in the shadows and accentuating the lit highlights will create depth and interest in the image. Very well done image. Good sharpness and color. Nice use of depth of field in that the flower is nice and sharp and the background is soft. Placement in the frame of the flower is well done. This is a good image that should do well entered in a clinic.